I've never been more satisfied by a league win. Well, I was. Yes, what am I talking about? Well, of course, I'm talking about the result of the weekend where the Mariners made it four wins in a row, unbeaten in five now. As the weekend, the Mariners beat the Bees of Barnet by 1-0. God, I love 1-0s. Can I just state that I love 1-0s, and it was. Artel calls it our best performance. I think in some ways it is. I think a lot of fans are saying it's not. But I've always said, and some fans agree with me, some fans disagree. These results are better than winning 4 or 5. Because if you win these games, it reminds me, like I said, of Wimbledon last year. And this was one of the most pleasing, although fortunate. I am going to give, during this review, I am going to give Barnet their flowers, really, because I do want to praise them as a team and how good of a team they were. If we look at the team that the Mariners started with, we had Jackson Smith in goal, Harvey Rogers on the left, Doug Tharm, Cameron McJanet, and Jaden Sweeney. The Sweens! And Geza David Torrey, Darla Burns on the left hand of midfield, Kieran Green, Evan Corey, Charles Vernon, and Jude Sunsup Bell started up front for the Mariners. And the bench, of course, what a bench. We had Jamie Walker, Reece Staunton, Tyrese Sellers Fleming. I wonder if Terry got there. Usually comes to most of Tyrese's games, but I wonder if he did. The former Terence Fleming, of course, who played for Grimsby in the past. Justin Malazor was on the bench. George McEachran, James Cabia, and the returning man of the moment, Mr. Andy Cook, started on the bench for the Mariners. And the best way I can describe this game is, for the first, I would say, 10 minutes of the game, 5 minutes, Barnet were probably on top of this game. Really. No real chances as such, but they were most definitely on top. But the Mariners looked confident with the passes. I thought David Torrey was very, very competent with the ball. Made some good early passes alongside Greeny, who does Greeny things. We always say that. And I thought everyone worked incredibly hard. Then there was a controversial moment about 10 minutes in, where Barnet went down to 10 men. Now, this is another reason why the review is so late. It's because I hadn't seen the incident. It was only a couple of hours ago, as of recording this, I actually saw the incident. Joe Kizzy got sent off for Barnet, and it was sort of mistaken identity for an elbow, apparently. And looking back on that, just before we go into any more of it, the referee got it wrong. As in, he did send the wrong guy off. Kizzy should not have been sent off. Joe sort of muscled Corey out of the way, but it was actually the follow through runner that did it. and it was a sending off, but to the wrong person. I know Barnet seemed to say it wasn't a sending off at all, but it definitely wasn't Kizzy that should have got sent off. But to be fair, if we're going from that, I think the referee, the communication between the linesman and referee, something must have gone wrong for them to send the wrong guy off. That also made, obviously, Barnet's manager irate, Dean Brennan. He then received a red card. I think he got a yellow and then carried on and then got another yellow. So he got sent to the stands. A lot of it, like I said, I didn't see because of where I was, where the wheelchairs are. I couldn't see it clearly. But the elbow that was done was a red, but it was the wrong person. So I think Joe Keating will. I'd imagine if they do appeal it, I think they will get that taken away. But this is also where I'm going to start praising Barnet. You honestly wouldn't have thought they were down to 10. They really were. I'm going to say they were, for the majority after that, they were more than competition. That they were so well drilled. Dean Brennan's side, so well drilled, and Vernon was very quiet. I felt more in the first half because we were kicking towards the pontoon. And I said my view can be a bit skewed from the main stand, but Sunset Bell had a couple of good chances. There were some good runs by Harvey Rogers. I thought he had a fantastic sort of game. The unfortunate thing happened right towards the end of the first half when Doug Tharm went off injured. He went to try and obviously stop a Barnet attack to see it out, to see it go for a goal kicker chance down the side that I was stood on. I was sat near, and he seemed to go into the. Looked like he went into a bit of the advertising holdings as well, but it looked like he's done himself an injury there, and Doug had to go off just before half time. Unfortunately, he was down for several minutes. There was 6 minutes of injury time. Sorry, it was 6 minutes. I didn't know it was 8 minutes. Added on the injury time. Apologies, I'm getting time on. No, 6 second half, 8 this. And it was mainly down to that, and obviously the sending off issues and things like that, where they had to make, they changed. Reece Brown got bought off, and Smith for them got bought on after the sending off, but it went in level at half time, and it was a very good half for Barnet, I would say. I know Martel said it was our best performance, but I actually thought it wasn't. We didn't have a standout player in that first half because they were very well drilled, like I said. One player for them throughout the entire game, but especially in the first half, I have to give is Glover, their number 15. What a player. What a player. He was running Harvey, he was running Doug absolutely ragged. Every time he got the ball, he looked dangerous. He looked like he could create something. He was without doubt their best player on the pitch all day. And they never let that sending off really subtract them. We had a few more gaps, obviously, in that first half and going into the second half, but you would never have known it because they were one of the hardest teams, I think, to break down. Waiting at the half-time break level, and you're thinking it's not going to be one of them days, is it? Obviously, Jude came off at half-time, replaced by Jace Cavia, which I wasn't surprised because I think they wanted to really play a little bit more direct to try and get past the offside trap a little bit more, which I think is what we were trying to do. And I was saying to one of the guys next to me, we're going to see Cookie in the second half. We're going to see him. And you could tell early in the second half there was always a plan because you could see that Andy was warming up and his warm-up was a lot more sort of ferocious warm-up. So I think he knew he was going to get some minutes, and so it was actually good to... I was just looking going, he's coming on, he's going to come on, he's coming on. You can always sort of sense when there's going to be that. But before that happened, a goal occurred. Jaden Sweeney with... he didn't kind of catch it right. It was on like the corner of the 18-yard box to inside inside the box. And, great play by Dar Burns as well to set him up for it. It looked like Jaden, he cut inside. He didn't connect with it properly. You could tell that, but it's always good to see Jaden get on the score sheet. I've got to say, probably my favourite signing this season. And I still say, whenever Jaden gets on the score sheet, that we need the Sweeney theme tune whenever Jaden scores. Obviously, it's been a great couple of days for Jaden. Him and his partner have given birth to their first child, which is fantastic. And to set that kind of week off with a goal as well. I'm sure Jaden is over the moon in so many ways, and but fair play to Mansfield, fair play to Barnet. They kept on going. They never ever stopped. They were always a challenge, always put us under pressure. I never felt comfortable in this game. You can definitely see why you'd still expect Barnet to be up there come the end of the season. They are definitely no pushovers for a team that were down to 10 men. You would never have known it. Their fans were outstanding as well, as ours were. But I think we were more shocked with how well Barnet did do even after the sending off. How they're not higher up, I do not know. But they are going to be a danger going into this half of the season, definitely. It's good to get one over these. We kept on going in the second half, and Uh, about 70 minutes had gone. We then brought George McEachran on to replace Geza Tory. Great move because Geza, I think he had one of the best games I've seen him have in a town shirt. How reassured he's getting. Harvey Rogers again, superb. Even in the second half, he never stopped running. He never stopped trying things, and the inevitable re-debut of Sir Andy of Cook did happen, and I have to admit, I forgot how much of a unit Andy Cook really is in person. What a man! What a man! And he came on. The crowd were buzzing for that, and when he came on, he got a great ovation. And the first thing I saw Andy Cook do was win a header. You can go direct. This is what's going to be good with having Andy there. You are going to be able to go direct if you need to, and everyone knows how good Andy Cook is in the air, and he did it first couple of minutes of him being on the pitch. He then did it again. The next attack we had, and nearly set James Caby and just too much on the back flick header by Andy Cook, and it's just a pleasure to see Andy back in the black and white. Disappointed that Danny Rose was not on the bench. I was quite surprised at that. Quite disappointed at that, really, because I think that, but you know, it just shows you that, you know, the type of player that we're going to get. Andy's going to want to score goals. You know, it was like an 18-minute, well, it was more like a 24-minute cameo for Andy Cook. They clocked that at 72 when he came on, and we looked so much more threatening. He's not the kind of striker you want coming on when your defenders are tired. It was a great 24-minute cameo from Andy. It really was. It was like, yes, you know, the man is back after 16 years away from the club. 14 years away. Sorry, no, 13 years away. Sorry, Andy. I keep going more and more saying it's longer. But, you know, it's so good to, as well, kind of like when we got Rosie in, it's good to have that kind of player that you know is going to be a threat. Andy is a serious goal threat, we know that. And to see him get 18 minutes plus added time, and he came through it all right. Loved it when the final whistle went. I stared straight at Andy and he's sort of showing yes. It was kind of like, you know, first appearance back and helped us get 3 points. It just, you know, to me, the chances were minimal. There was a couple of, isn't it? Nothing that would make you go, we should have put that away, or we should have put that away. But I also understand what Artel means by probably our best performance in regards to, it was our best performance in, we never lost our cool, we never did anything brash. That is probably the most belief I've seen in the side for a long time, and all went well. We finished the game 1-0. Obviously, Barnet fans not going to be happy. Of course, they're not. But they are definitely going to be a threat for the remainder of the season for them. I have no doubts on that whatsoever. And us, going now 4 straight wins. Going into next week when we host Cheltenham. When we go to Cheltenham, we don't host Cheltenham. When we go to Cheltenham, can we get 5 wins in a row? If you get the pun, you'll know what I mean. Whether Andy will play in that game as well, starting that game, no idea. I understand because he's not played since the beginning of December. I love the little interview that Matt Dean did with Andy after the game. It was the one interview I'm sure all fans wanted to hear from was Andy on the radio, and he got a good little 5 minutes with Andy. It was a good little interview, and always a pleasure to see Andy cook back. I'm still buzzing from that time, if you can't already tell. And to come back on his return and to... I honestly thought it was going to be an Andy Cup winner. I think everybody to a man is showing that the performances may not be exactly what we're looking for, but the last 4 games in the league is 1-0, 1-0, 1-0, 0-0. I mean, that's also credit to Jackson Smith as well. The defence has got so much confidence in Jackson that they had one, I think it was with Unlove, they had one real good chance which I think Jackson saved with his foot just after we scored. And there's no doubt since Jackson has come into the club, the defence trust him, and there's no reason why we become tougher to beat. We're not getting. I know we conceded 2 last week to Weston-super-Mare, but one of them flicked off our own wall, and but and even though Ardell said did it obviously in jest with Jackson about he conceded 2, but he hadn't conceded before that. Everyone's just it's not about performances as such. I know some fans don't like that. They don't like hearing, well, I want to be entertained. I agree to a point, but I want a winning team. If it means that we're not winning 3 or 4, so be it. I'll take 1-0 wins because I can assure you 1-0 wins hurt the opposing team a lot more because they're thinking, we could have got something, we probably should have got something. There's obviously times where, yes, Town need to be more clinical, but it's about, this is the most confident I've been in our defence since Artell's been here. I mean, you can't argue with 4 clean sheets out of 5. You cannot. 0-0 with Oldham, 1-0 against Shrewsbury, 1-0 against Fleetwood, and 1-0 against Barnet. And Barnet, who are a very, very good side, and we have caused them to not score, even with some real good play by them. If we quickly look at some match stats, 14 shots, 5 on target for Grimsby, 14 and 3 for Barnet. Just over 61.5% possession for Grimsby, 38.4% for Barnet. Touches in the opposition box, 36 for the Mariners, only 19 for Barnet. 4 saves for Barnet's keeper, 2 for Jackson Smith. Aerial duels, they beat us on that, 27-23. Vals committed, we committed 12, they committed 9. But they had 7 corners to our 5. And if we just quickly look at the possession of the game, passes in total 392 for the Mariners, 237 for Barnet, a 71% or 71.5% roughly percent pass accuracy, just over 50% for Barnet. Backwards passes, 54 of those. So, still over 330 forward passes. Long balls, they're 85, we had 69. Successful final third passes, 113. That shows, I think, where Artel's talking about how good our performance was. To their 35. 18 crosses, their 17. There was nothing in that. But I think, when Andy Cook gets fitter in the next couple of weeks, you get restarting on there, or Chaz Vernon, he's going to absolutely eat up the crosses if we can get the crosses to him. And I don't know why I've got this feeling that he could score against Walsall. I've just got that feeling. I don't know about the rest of you guys, but it's one of his former clubs, and I could see that happening. I think, even if he doesn't go for the next couple, I think he might in that one. We know what it's like when he's done it enough against us. I wonder if he can do it against one of his former sides, and before that, obviously. So if we just quickly look at the league table, the Mariners lie in 11th, Barnet down in 13th. We're on 37 points. That's now 5 unbeaten, 4 in the league unbeaten, 3 wins and 1 draw. But 4 consecutive wins for the Mariners. That now puts us on 37 points. That's 5 points outside the playoffs. Notts County, we still have to play Notts County as of yet. And it is all looking good again. And let's hope we can continue with the performance at Cheltenham. Speaking of Cheltenham, I'll be back with the preview for Cheltenham in the week, obviously after the press conferences, so I'll be back after them. But do leave me your thoughts on the game against Barnet. What did you guys think? Are you happy with that sort of win? 3 consecutive 1-0 wins in the league. It may not do much to our goal difference, but my God, it makes it so hard to beat when you can shut teams out for the last 4 games. It gives you so much more of a chance of winning games. And leave me your thoughts down below. And what's your thoughts on the return of Andy Cook? Do you think... when do you think his first goal will come? Do you think it'll come at Cheltenham? And let me know down below your thoughts on that. Like, share, comment and subscribe. And until later on in the week, guys, or any transfer news gets broken. Obviously, we know about Zach Gilzenon just mention that just as I sign off. Obviously went to Buxton. It got announced just before the game, and well done to Zach as well. He did score on his debut for Buxton. So, and according to what Artel said, it was Zach's choice to go to Buxton, and that's who he wanted to play for. I think he said he had a chance to go to the National League, but he chose Buxton. It's like, fine. But well done to Zach as well, and good luck to his loan at Buxton. Looks like it's a season-long loan, but they have a 28-day callback. So, after all that being said, leave me your thoughts down below on the game against Barnet. And can we keep this little bit of run going? Well, not just a little bit of run, a big bit of a run going, and hopefully start charging on that table sooner rather than later. So like, share, comment, subscribe, as I've already said, and I will see you obviously with any breaking transfer news, but I will definitely see you for the preview of Cheltenham Town after the press conferences in the week. Until then, guys, up the Mariners, and I will see you very soon. Until then, up the Mariners, I'll see you soon. Ta-da for now. Oh yeah.